Hi guys, it's Foye, but you can call me Foye.
Hey, it's Lola, but you can call me Lola if you like.
Hi, this is Velisa, and you can call me Vels if you want. And this is the Everybody Hates HR pod, episode 15.
Woo! We are back. We're back. We had a small hiccup last week, but thank you guys for all your understanding. But as promised, we're back now.
Yes, we are. And how was everyone's week?
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I feel like I should have more to say.
Yeah, you're the one that said 2 weeks.
I know. I feel like I should have more to say.
Velisa's been out here.
I've been outside. I need to go back home and just sleep and stuff. Yeah. No, I went to Italy for the day, went to Venice.
Can we just, for the day?
For some lunch.
You know what? Me and my friend just wanted some really good pasta. So
Must be nice.
Where do you get better pasta from than Italy?
That's mad. He said, Vapiano who?
I love Vapiano. Yeah, we went to Italy for the day. Went to Venice, which was nice. No cars, only boats.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So that was really cool. And then somehow...
Ubers?
No.
Uber boats?
Well, they've got boat taxis. Yeah, we took one of those, a private one, because the really small boat just looks like people had jumped off the Titanic. I was like, I'm not getting in that. Like,
you know, yeah, but that's the TikTok aesthetic, innit? The Instagram aesthetic.
Yeah.
You be on a little boat and...
Not that. No, this boat was tiny. Like,
Really?
it was like, if you can't swim, you shouldn't be in this boat.
Really?
Yeah.
But is that like their taxis?
Yeah, but like
what
the
they
group
usually-
one. So we took a private one where it was just me and my friend on the boat, which was a lot better.
Shock.
And then somehow I survived the weekend. Went to Wireless Saturday and Sunday.
Stamina.
Nah, Sunday was mad.
I saw people on Instagram and TikTok, like Stampedes. Why are people so mannerless?
It's because it's Nicki Minaj fans. They're crazy. Because on the Saturday was fine. I was like, yeah, I had ice creams, I had duck wraps, I had tea. It was so nice. So I thought, oh, Sunday will be calm as well. Like, it will be chill. When I got there, like, it took us 2 hours to get in because there was just so many people.
But the thing is, Nicki fans,
they're mad. They're
The
mad.
The
I have family members that are barbs, and I said, listen, I don't even want to see you when you're there. Like, just stay away from me. I don't want to be around you. They're mad. But I survived.
You love that for you.
Yeah, thanks.
You had a nice couple weeks.
Yeah.
I've done nothing again. I feel like it's so boring to just always come and be like, yeah, it's just been a calm week. That's it.
I mean,
I'm
it
with
gets
you.
like that.
I'm with you. What have I done? I've literally done nothing. But very importantly, this month is my birthday month. So I'll be sad. I think my birthday's on
It's a double.
And I'm graduating. Yeah, I'm graduating. So I'm probably I've got a friend whose birthday's on Wednesday. So probably after that, then I start celebrating my birthday. Probably from like the 14th.
So you're one of those people that you do celebrate the
I'm
whole
not
month?
usually, but because I've got my graduation and then my birthday a week after, I'm like, I may as well. Listen, every time you ask me what I'm doing, I say nothing. I have some stuff to do. So yeah, I'm having like a little party in the park. And then, yeah, so I'm doing a little bit of planning for that. But yeah, otherwise I've just been chilling. I'm working. That's it, really.
It's good. So what's been in the news? What's happening?
HR news or news?
This is
I mean,
both.
They're related.
There's an overlap. Where do we start with the resignations?
Ooh.
This is fun.
Where's HR for them resignation?
Who is it?
I really want to know who it is.
Who is HR for? Like they obviously they have a HR for like the House of Parliament and stuff. But what?
There must be.
Yeah, there must be.
I've
Yeah.
seen jobs advertised.
But like, what do they actually do? Because obviously they're not involved in like the big cases of misconduct. So what are they doing? They're dealing with like the clergy.
Yeah, I feel like it's more internal and it doesn't actually affect like the MPs and
Yeah,
I don't think it's HR
it's more
for
like the
them.
staff for the MPs,
like the
probably.
administrators and secretaries and things like that.
Yeah.
Because I saw this thing about, I didn't even read it properly, so maybe it was a bit clickbaity, but Boris Johnson is getting redundancy pay, like, or like some severance payment of like 400 grand.
Yeah, and
between all of them, yeah, no,
he probably would.
He is.
That's insane.
All the MPs are getting money, basically, even though they resigned. They all, I can't remember exactly what it was, but they all get a certain amount of money, like 25% of what they would have got if they were made redundant. Something silly like that. But my thing
is, if you resign, right, in the normal working world, if you resign, you don't get paid. You just go.
Yeah, but this is different. It's different for them. It's mad
because if that's the case, would we not all be resigning from our jobs?
Of course. But you know, you got some people who I think Amazon have it, the quit to pay. No, pay to quit, sorry. Pay to quit, where literally they pay people to resign. Yeah. Have you not seen
I
that?
know, like voluntary redundancy.
No,
like
it's
that?
Well, sorry, because it's in America that it started happening. But I've started to see more companies like do it over here, but it's called be paid to quit.
But I get like, because in the US sometimes you have severance pay, so that when someone leaves, and in the UAE as well, they have something because they don't pay like social security. So when someone leaves, you have to pay, what's it called? There's something.
It's X amount of months.
Yeah, but I can't remember what it's called. Something anyway that they have to pay basically when you're leaving to like, it's like a and the social security payment, you have to pay it to them on top.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get that, but like here, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I think so, especially when you've done personal opinion.
You're literally the bare minimum. Your performance was terrible. You should have been on a PIP, but you wasn't.
Yeah, as in one stage PIP, not even like let's go through this process 3 times.
All their mothers don't have 2 year service. They should have canned them.
Literally,
I really hate like the way everything is at the moment, and like I get it. Like in some cases, in some ways, it's like a regular job, and in other ways, it's not. The way it is like a regular job, which I feel like it shouldn't be, is like, you know, if you have a job, you quit. You just be like, okay, I'm leaving. You work your notice and you dip. It doesn't matter if you messed everything up while you were there. It doesn't matter. Like, you could have been a terrible performer, but you've quit now. It's not your responsibility. And being an MP is like that. And I think it shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't.
They should pay for their sins.
They should.
Yeah.
But they'll literally be like, cheerio, I'm off now.
Yeah.
The damage they've done is so bad. Like, even the person who comes in, it's just like, you're set up to fail. Like,
literally.
How are you supposed to come and fix this?
That's the question. That's like the post you said. I think you said you saw a post on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So
like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a black man. It's key that I say that he's black. He put up on LinkedIn, I do not want I don't remember what's her last name? Kemi. Yeah, he does not want a black woman or black person to be prime minister. And he was explaining that he was like, basically, don't jump down my neck. He was like, he knows that she will be villainized, even though she's basically tidying up everyone else's mess. She will be villainized as the person who basically started this and causes major fires, and nobody's going to be forgiven to her the way they're forgiven to white people in power. It's going to be, and men, it's going to be completely different. So he was like, he doesn't want that.
I don't want that either.
I get that.
I don't want any. I want the prime minister to be a white man. You guys can quote me on it if you want. I do. If it's going to be a Tory prime minister, let it be a white man, because like, I think if they have some, look at Priti Patel, like, she's the perfect example. Because she's a woman and because she's an ethnic minority, they use her to put forward unpopular opinions or unpopular policies, which would otherwise be considered to be racist. But because she's brown, you can't accuse her of racism. The fact that she doesn't know that she's Asian herself is a separate situation. But
identity issues.
She has identity issues. It's given, please, I want to be white so bad. But like, if you have someone black or someone Asian who's prime minister, it's very easy for them to put forward racist policies or things that are like, you know, or even someone from a working class background. It's easy for them to put forward something that is gonna be harmful against other working class people. Because they can be like, I'm a working class person, I pulled myself up from my bootstraps or whatever, and no one will challenge them. So I don't want that. I want somebody who people feel comfortable to challenge, and you know, even people that don't have 3 brain cells can, you know, realize that this might be a bit racist or sexist or classist or something.
I hear that. I don't think it's going to happen though.
Listen, did you see the candidates?
I don't really delve too much into politics, but I saw the pictures.
Exactly.
And I was just like, there's not many white people here. It's Asians, one black person, and I think I saw one white person. There might be more. That's just all I remember. And I was just like, oh, this is new. It's probably the first time we've had this, right?
Yeah.
See, I feel like this is your bag, but I'm gonna jump into my conspiracy theory bag. Number one, what I would say, you know them people on Twitter that have the flag in the flag Twitter, England flag Twitter.
Yeah.
Them people, they're gonna be reading when they see that picture. They're gonna be
100%.
They're gonna be seething.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, they're gonna make England great again.
Yeah.
But also, do you think that it's a coincidence that as we're about to go into possibly the worst recession this country has seen for however long, the people that they are pushing to be the forefront of the recession and the catastrophic cost of living, everything, are all the brown people.
Yeah.
All the black and brown people.
Can I add, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the person who was the most popular candidate to become, or who they thought would have been the one to take on this role or put himself forward, who's also a white man, said he didn't want it and backed out.
I didn't even know who that was.
So that, I can't remember his name. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But that says a lot too, because if he's probably one of the most popular people to put himself forward and he said, I don't want it, that says a lot as well.
It's a big job.
I wouldn't take it.
Me neither.
No matter how much you pay me.
Same.
Yeah.
I would not take it.
I feel like one of the other things, and it kind of happened with Obama, but obviously he's a mixed race man, but that's another story. But yeah, like the whole, if a brown person is in power, you see, England's not racist. There's opportunity for all of you. We are not the same. We are not the same. But that will happen. You'll see that. Happen. Yeah.
And that's again why I don't want any of the brown people. Because do you see the video of Rishi Sunak?
Yes, I did. Pathetic.
There's a video of Rishi Sunak and he's talking about it's when he's younger. There's two videos. There's one for his campaign, but there's another one that people have pulled up when he was younger. He was like, I've got friends who are aristocracy. I've got friends who are upper class, who are middle class, friends who are working class. I know actually not working class. And then he literally said he doesn't know working class people.
He said that.
He was young, and obviously he probably didn't know that. At one point, they will drag it when he was trying to become prime minister. But he literally said, I don't know working class. We're not really working class. So he literally said, me that wants to be prime minister, I can't
relate to you guys.
And he's married to a billionaire. So
isn't he like the richest MP?
I think he's one of the
You know the worst part is he was chancellor, and he's coming to say, we need to add. He wants to come and ready for Rishi is his slogan.
Yeah, ready to rob us again.
Ready to rob, ready to kill and destroy, ready to pillage. But he's basically, I want to bring stability back to the economy. I was thinking,
you're
the one who was in charge. He literally is just like
crazy.
It's crazy.
Politics is mad. It's so Black Mirror.
Question: have any of you ever snaked your manager as hard as Rishi snaked Boris?
No, but I like the energy.
It's given. I hate my manager.
Yeah,
it's given toxic boss.
It is. It really, really is. But it's so dramatic, isn't it? Just the whole, the resignations coming in, and then Boris thinking he can fire a couple. So it's like, I've got some power. Then more resigning. Then him resigning. Yeah. It's just so dramatic.
Do you know what the most dramatic part was for me?
What?
That Boris did his hair. That really that tripped me out because he never has his hair done. So I was like, what game are you playing? This is sick.
You know what? Have you heard the story of the rumor?
He does it on purpose.
No, that so basically there's rumors that he's fathered another child.
Oh yeah, I've heard the rumors.
The child is from his hairdresser.
Yeah.
So all this time,
see what I mean? It's sick.
All this time he had a hairdresser, and apparently he had to make her go away. So only now that the hairdresser has gone, or you tried to send it to the US, is your hair being done? Because obviously all the other times where he was supposed to be doing his hair, he wasn't doing it. He was clapping cheese.
Makes a lot of sense.
So that's what 9 kids or something now, 8 or 9.
Yeah,
that's insane.
That's wild.
That's insane.
He's actually he's the worst.
Absolutely.
And then there's Theresa May dancing to Craig David.
I love that for her. What? There's a video of Theresa May. What event?
I don't know where she was, but she's dancing to Craig David,
and
who's
she
performing.
looks like, you know,
like she's coming out on stage or something.
No, she's just being stiff in the
no,
crowd.
that's an old video, but yeah, she was doing that dancing.
Yeah, that
It's
one.
crazy. Like, she looks like a puppet. Like, but also let her live her life. But they did the same thing to her, to Theresa May. What they would do to the next person.
Yeah, 100%.
She came in and she was supposed to do the whole Brexit thing.
Yeah.
She literally came into a shit show.
Yeah, she did.
Like,
she was set up to fail.
They love doing that to women in the workplace, don't they?
honestly, it
They
literally
do.
it mirrors
They
reality.
do.
It mirrors reality. And then obviously when she was finished, Boris, who was literally part of her downfall. Do you know what? This is karma keeps receipts. See what's happening to Boris is what he did to Theresa May. Like, it's all the same. Like, history repeats itself. Even when they were all resigning, these guys have no shame. It's like rats on a sinking ship. This thing was down. All these guys were scurrying to get off. It's like, I can no longer stand by and watch. But what?
I was loving it. Like, Sky News put up a tally in the corner. Every time someone resigned, it just went up.
But what I don't
Twitter was the best. It was like, Priti Patel, we're waiting for your resignation. TikTok,
wake up, we're waiting. She'll never.
Yeah, no.
I just think it's so insincere because it's like you're saying now you can no longer stand by, but you stood by him when he was doing all the stuff. He's not even doing anything now. He's just hiding.
It's all whatever's in their own personal interest at the end of the day.
Yeah. But it like you said, it just mirrors what happens in like companies. It's the same thing. Like I've worked in places where things are really like going to shit, and historically there's usually been a man in that position, and then they'll see this as an opportunity to now bring in a new person, and it happens to be a woman, but they bring her up to set her up for failure. Like they know that they can't do it, but they're expecting this person to come in and do it, knowing that it's almost impossible and it's going to take them a really long time. And I've seen it happen, and it's so bad.
And the other part that mirrors the workplace in general is, you know, all the resignations. Like you get senior people, like when the money is, you know, money in, they're there collecting all their, you know, equity or whatever. Then when stuff starts to tank, you see all the CFO is leaving, the CMO is leaving, the CPO is leaving. Like that's literally what's happening to the country.
Literally.
It's interesting. Put HR spin on Parliament.
They need HR. I would love if anyone who works in the government, in the Houses of Parliament, or you need a HR person, one who's going to be, you know, ready for Rishi. You let me know, because I will go in and
will you do it?
What? I would love to.
She's going for all the wrong reasons.
That disciplinary. when I do Priti's disciplinary, the way it'll be watertight. There'll be no if buts and maybe. Don't bring your union representative. There's no point.
I thought you was going to say if you work in Parliament as HR, if you want to come on the pod, we'll blur out your face.
And slur your voice.
Yes. If you work in Parliament and you want to come on, you know, the pod, we'll definitely have you. We'll do one of those voice recognition things. Make you a shadow. We'll do it like Panorama.
Got you.
Yeah, like Panorama.
Like Panorama.
That's so funny.
What else been happening in the news?
What's been happening in the news?
I saw a couple interesting stories. There was one. Is it even that interesting? There was one about this police officer. It's interesting, but it's just a bit disgusting. So he has basically been fired. He was an officer responsible for safeguarding, and it doesn't something to do with his job. So they all went on like an away day. And to be honest, whenever you have away days or Christmas parties or anything where people are, you know, away from the office, they just lose their senses anyway. So he basically met this woman for the first time, a female officer who was more junior than him, and let's say they were in like the next room from each other. He basically called her or said he needed to come in to borrow some toothpaste. He forgot his toothpaste at home, so he came into the room, brushed his teeth. Then rather than leaving, rather than even taking the toothpaste, brushing your teeth and bringing it back, he went into her bathroom, brushed his teeth, then came out, offed his shoes and his socks, laid on the bed, and then proceeded to tell her that he was unhappy in his relationship, his marriage, and that he liked her. He also touched her leg, and, you know, generally like really inappropriate, to the point where she ran into the bathroom, locked herself in, called her husband and cried. Yeah, and she said she didn't know what to do. and then obviously her husband has been like blah blah blah. I think she expressed it. I don't know what happened after that, but basically he lost his job as he should have. And he's now been barred, so he can never be a police officer again. And he gave some long speech being like, oh, I've wanted to be a police officer since I was 5. That's your own issue. You ruined it. Is one mistake? It's a big mistake.
That's the big.
You're literally a predator. So yeah, that was like in the news. I just think it's mad that people like. It's literally 2022, and people still feel comfortable. Mainly men feel comfortable to do this kind of stuff.
But my thing is, if you needed toothpaste, take the toothpaste and go. Anything extra, I don't know how you can explain it. How can you explain going into her bathroom to brush your teeth, taking off your shoes and getting comfortable?
They actually said in the tribunal, I think it went to tribunal, or when in the dismissal hearing, they basically said that because of everything that he did, they feel that he actually went into the room, that he never needed a toothpaste, basically. He went into the room. They feel like his sole purpose of going into the room was to that he deceived her as to get into her room, and so that he could then put it on her or try to make a move. And yeah, so that was like one of the things that went against him, because it's proper predatory behavior.
It's very bold.
And but the thing is, lots of women wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I don't know if people listening know how often, like you said, when there's away days and Christmas parties or even after work drinks, like the way some employees, it's like they forget that
it's work.
Yeah, they literally forget that it's work, and you'll be in disciplinaries and they'll be like, well, it was after work, so I don't know why this should count, blah, blah. Hello, you're with work people on a work trip, so why would you think that now it's not associated with work?
Work is paying for the room that you're
literally. Yep. But they do it all the time, and like it's an ongoing joke amongst HR people that, oh, there's a Christmas party or away day. But real talk, like that is when workload increases, because people just don't know how to behave. Like they're on a lad's holiday, or like, do you know what I mean?
We used to, one of the places I worked at, we had a work-related social events policy.
You have to.
And I was just like, that was the first one I had where I'd seen it, and I was like, it just makes a lot of sense. You just have to.
It does. It does.
This case, I've literally dealt with something, like not even dealt with. I know it happened somewhere else. So there was somewhere I worked, and there was this man who used to work in the business and wanted to come back. I didn't particularly like him, so I was just like, yeah, let's maybe not do that. And then when we raised it to his team that he might be coming back, no one said anything. But then one of the girls pulled me aside, and she basically told me this exact same story.
Really?
That one time they went away and they were in the room back to back, and he had called her. He didn't come to the room, but he basically was texting her from next door saying, I'm next door, I'm really horny, like why don't we just do it one time, like I'll be blah blah blah. And he had a wife and a child, and she was like, she just was next door. She just had to stop reading the message because she wanted him to think that she was sleeping. And then the next day she was really off with him. He's like, oh, why are you off with me? It was just like blah blah, like, and she never told anybody until that day when he was going to come back. She was like, please don't let this guy come back.
That's like, but imagine just holding that in and feeling like, because for whatever reason she felt she couldn't tell anyone that happened, right? Imagine not telling anyone that, but also going about your day to day, every day, coming into work, being around this man until he left.
Yeah, and she said that like a couple of weeks later, he was like, oh, why are you being off with me? Like,
is he insane?
Yeah, but this is what I mean about, there are mad people in this world, like, and she never said anything. So imagine people like, and he wasn't fired or anything, do you know what I mean? So he left of his own accord.
Yeah.
So people would have rated him or whatever. And you know this the whole time.
Long service awards,
Yeah.
speech, drinks after work.
Yeah. You'll see it a lot. It's like good performers that are doing these really horrible,
dirty
strange things. Yeah. Like I had a case somewhere where I worked where he was just about to be promoted to manager, and they went for work drinks, and he had followed a woman outside who was an employee, followed her, was trying to get into her cab with her, had tried to like kiss her when she didn't want to be kissed, and all of this stuff. And I remember the manager was like to me, but he's so good. like he's such a good performer, he's about to be a manager.
What does that mean?
Do we have to like
she was very common,
the manager was like, do we have to do something? And you know when you're so perplexed, I was like, well,
It's making sense,
yeah, we do, because like this is sexual harassment, so of course something needs to. She was like, oh, but you know, can we wait until after the promotion? No.
And also, sorry, just to add on to that, they also could let people get to that. Like, let's say they've covered it, right? And they're like, oh, okay, well, why can't we just caution him? Or have to speak to him or give him a first written warning? Can you imagine? They would rather do all of these things than actually say, we're not standing for this. Because they will lose a fee earner or someone is really top performing, bringing money into the business.
You know what? I just remember something else. Like, this is, you know, when I said some women wouldn't have said anything. I worked somewhere where, again, at a Christmas party, someone went up to the CEO or like the managing director or one of the senior people, and they were talking, basically burst out into tears. She was pissed. She was drunk, and she basically said that someone senior in the business they had gone away for some work event, and he had basically tried to have sex with her, and she didn't feel like she could say no. Like, she said she never said no or anything like that, but he was her senior, and she just kind of felt like she was kind of new. She didn't want to, like, so she didn't want to say no. She didn't, do you know what I mean? And she literally just burst into tears, and she said she's been in therapy for 2 years.
Wow.
Like, just like that.
This is why it's important that you work somewhere where you feel like, you know, the culture and morals align with you.
Yeah.
Because that's what causes all of these that's why I couldn't stay at one of the companies I worked at, because it just didn't align with based on how they would resolve things. And you'll see it naturally. You'll see how things are resolved within your team, within, you know, your department, up to it gets to senior leadership, and then from that you can decide if that's somewhere for you.
And she had been in the business for 6 years, so actually she had been in therapy for the last 2 years. But this happened to her like 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's mad.
It's crazy.
Bad for her.
Yeah, like this kind of stuff happens a lot. I feel like I don't want to say lighter note, but and there was another police story as well. But this one I felt like it made me a little bit happier because the person got fired, but basically there was a party, not a work related party. A couple of police officers or like a number of police officers went to a party in Bromley. I don't know why Bromley's relevant, but shout out Bromley. And one of the police officers was overheard making racist comments, and they snitched on him, and he was fired. And I love that, because it wasn't like, let's say we went to a party and we overheard someone saying stuff about black people or it wasn't that. It kind of, from what I've read, it wasn't like it was his white colleagues that overheard it. And it wasn't about I felt uncomfortable because I'm black, or I felt uncomfortable because I'm Asian. It was like we listened to it. This isn't acceptable, and so they told, and the person was fired. And I feel like that's allyship.
That's the standard.
That's ally. You want to be an ally?
That sort of stuff you do.
Yeah.
And it should be very normal, but it actually is rare.
Yeah. No, that's good. It should be appreciated that they did that, because I feel like he or she, I'm just assuming actually, he probably thought that it was a setting that he felt comfortable. Yeah, comfortable, that they would think like him, and they were like, nope. Yeah. Because that also happens a lot, where people feel comfortable, and then you'll be doing some form of, just from an ER standpoint, like you'll be doing some form of investigation, and then you hear all these other conversations that people have had where they didn't feel comfortable, but they didn't say nothing, but they tend to look like the person who's also said the comments. So be careful.
Some people say some wild stuff though, because I've had incidents where like a white person has said something very wild in front of a black person, but like it's like there's been no filter in your head. Like, for example, like when I see black people, I cross the road, and you say it to a black person based on how they look, and I'm just like, are you not
thinking this person might be offended? Like, I think it's different.
It's
like
crazy.
Verbal diarrhea.
It's crazy.
No, this happened at one of the jobs that I was at, and the person came to HR and he was just like, I don't want to raise anything, but I just want to let it be known because she mentioned that in like a team meeting where there's other colleagues as well, and it was like a chat before the meeting happened. But it's like, why is that a topic, number one? And number two, why do you feel so comfortable saying that? Like it's just so, it blows my mind every single time stuff like that pops up.
Also, I just, as an aside, kind of related to what you just said, I really hate when people come and say, I don't want to raise this, but I'm telling you. Because it's like, okay.
I don't hate it.
I do. It's like, I understand why.
I understand it.
I understand why, but it's like, okay, you're basically coming to me to vent. Yeah. And you're confiding in me.
Yeah.
But you're not going to, I can't do anything. I'm just going to be useless because you're telling me you don't want me to tell anybody. And some things, to be honest, if you tell me, I'm going to have to tell someone, depending on what it is.
That's what annoys me.
That when you tell me like that,
I have to say something.
If you come and tell me
definitely.
something, certain things, my manager's getting on my nerves. Okay, cool. But if you come and tell me something like, someone's being racist, someone's bullying you, being, and there's evidence of this or whatever. You're now putting me in an uncomfortable position because it's like, okay, I want to help you. What you've described, I agree with you, is unacceptable. But you're telling me that you don't want me to share it with anybody. So now you're going to feel like I've broken your trust. And if I don't do anything, I'm not kind of handling my professional duty.
Yeah, it is a difficult position to be in. But I don't hate it. I understand it. But 9 times out of 10, there's ways around it. Like that's where HR, you really have to put your like hat on, and that's when the whole solution and problem solving comes in, because you have to do it, and there's feelings involved, and you have to know the characters of the people involved and managers that you might tell or might not tell. And that's where I feel many people don't really understand that side of HR.
I always say, if I'm going to tell someone, I always tell them, look, what you've told me is really serious, and I'm going to have to share this with X person or Y person. I will let X person know that you don't want to share it any further, but just because it's so serious, I'm going to have to share it. And a lot of the time they're like, oh, okay. But then a lot of the time what happens in that kind of situation, if they don't want to share it, or they let you share it with a limited circle of people, the manager, for instance, you might go and tell someone and the manager has to feed back to that individual, but you can't tell that individual. It's really hard to feed back because the individual has no context of their behaviour. So if you say, look, it's been noted that X, Y, and Z, it's really hard because unless you're going to give them specifics, they can't really adjust their behaviour and they might not believe you.
That's one of the good things at the last company I worked at, is I can have those conversations as ER without either party's manager knowing, unless it got to a place of, okay, no, there's evidence that a policy has been broken and it needs to go to disciplinary. But if it doesn't get to that point, it's actually leverage for me to be able to say, your manager has no idea that I'm having this conversation with you, but blah, 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 and vice versa. So that also, sometimes that helps with the person who doesn't want anyone to know, is that, okay, your manager doesn't know. They're not going to get in trouble with their manager. Their manager doesn't know. So I'm going to have this conversation.
Random. Because you work at obviously a very large company, how do you get requests through? Do they have a ticket system, or is it like, do people actually email you and be like, hey, Velisa, got this? Like, how do you get your employee relations issues come through?
So up till recently, the HRBP would always be like point of contact, as in if there's any problem, the person will talk to their HRBP and HRBP. And everyone knows who their HRBP is. And HRBP will pass it on. Or if you check on the Workday system, you can see who your ER person is, who your HRBP is.
Allocated.
Yeah. So you'll know what area and what ER person you should be talking to, and then they'll just say, "Can I have time with you?" or "Can I talk to you?" And then
that's good.
Yeah, or the manager. It literally different outlets. Yeah,
it usually is like that, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
like even in smaller companies, it can come from anywhere. It can come from someone they've confided in, come from them themselves, come from their manager. You can get a letter from outside. You could just get so many different avenues.
That's why sometimes I find Love Island really triggering. Can I have a chat? Oh God, what's going on now? Can I have a chat?
Yeah. Yeah. The one of the like weirdest ones I had was it was someone had been confided in. So they were taking training about like policies and how to recognize harassment, discrimination, blah blah blah. And as they're going through the training, they're like, I think I need to say something about something somebody told me. But up to that point, they had no idea it's something they should say. And it was a manager was sleeping with an intern.
I've seen that, to be honest.
Yeah, but the person they had confided in didn't know that this was something that was wrong.
Yeah.
Because the managers are told, don't do stuff with your intern.
Like direct management or a manager in a part of the business and an intern in a part of the business.
No, the manager was that intern's manager. Yeah, but the person didn't think there was anything wrong with it. And then as they went through the training, they were like, yeah, no, need to say. And it literally opened up a can of worms because it was something that happened years ago. So the person was no longer an intern, but still an employee. Yeah. The manager was no longer an intern manager, but still a manager. Wow. 2 different locations, one on this side of the world, one on this side of the world. And then, we had to bring it all together. And
I wonder what made them still come out though, because some people may have felt, well, that happened like however many years ago now. Like, sometimes
that's true.
Just be a thought in your head like, oh,
that's true. That's true.
And just leave it alone.
That's true.
But to still voice it is pretty.
Do you know what? Some of those trainings, you learn quite a lot from them. Sometimes you think they're really basic, and they are. You just have to do this compliance training. But there was the time when I realized, like, it was before I was working in HR, but the first time I learned about like maternity discrimination or, gender discrimination or whatever, was from one of those trainings, because there was an example of a woman who had just come back from having a baby, or she was pregnant or something like that. And there was a new project, and she, in the videos that they're acting out, there was a new project, and they said, oh, don't give it to Debbie, because Debbie won't want to do the long hours and all the travel. And they basically said that's discrimination, because now you're excluding Debbie from a really good opportunity. And even though I kind of obviously understood discrimination in general, I would have never pulled that example out. And I saw loads of that kind of stuff in my, when there's a working mum or something, and it's a late, you'll be like, oh no, she you
think you're doing them a favour.
You think you're doing them a favour, but actually you could be excluding them from opportunity. Yeah. Sometimes you're like, training, but actually it does help to, those scenarios where you have to watch those long videos, they do help to clarify things a bit.
I agree.
So it's really hot outside.
It's too hot.
Yeah, I don't like London when it's this hot.
There's no breeze.
That's not for me.
Stuffy.
Yeah.
Stuffy.
When I was coming, I said to the Uber driver, can you put the aircon on? He said the car, he does no aircon. And I know he's lying. I feel like he didn't want to waste petrol.
He didn't.
Probably.
So I had to drive with the window down and the hot air. It was the awful.
Ghetto.
Yeah, it literally like pollution. It's hot as hell.
Your face.
Yeah. Honestly, I had to come and look in the mirror in case half of my face was black.
Yeah. So like when working in these sort of temperatures, which isn't easy, so I was reading, and there's actually no limit to how hot it can get for your employers to say, actually don't work. But if it should be comfortable, like it should be a comfortable
like don't
temperature.
Work in a specific location, or just like, guys, it's too hot, rest your brain.
Well, no, in the office.
Okay.
In the office, it has to be comfortable. Obviously, if your house is you're on the 10th floor in a high apartment and heat rises, that's not their personal problem. Go and find a co-working space.
But is it the temperature outside or the temperature inside?
Inside, yeah.
Well, a lot of places will get away with that then.
Yeah, because a lot of them have aircon. Yeah. You say this, but I know I will say it all the time, but I used to work in John Lewis, Oxford Street, and there was just this big, massive generator fan, like the ones you get in Africa, that was just on the shop floor. And obviously uniform, we had to wear tights and like a shirt or a long sleeve top. And it had to get to like 30 degrees before they let you take your tights off.
That's crazy.
Or take your tie as well. The men, like, they had to be 30 degrees before they could take their tie off.
In H&M, when I worked there was like a similar limit. It was at a certain temperature, but then you couldn't work. And there was a day when it was hot and the aircon broke, and they actually had to close the store because it was that
Good.
hot.
Yeah, but then they close it because of the customers, not because
Yeah,
of the
that's
No,
true.
literally, that's what we call that place hella misery.
Yeah.
You know that?
I worked at H&M for 2 weeks and I cut.
Oh, did you?
Cut. Do you know what it was? They asked me to work, and then you know when it's time to go home, I'm very used. I can give you 10, 15 minutes. I was there an extra hour, and nobody was saying anything. I'm like, I'm not doing this consistently. I'm going and it's. I don't think you even get paid up until a certain amount of
I think it's
time.
45 minutes. If you're there 45 minutes longer, you don't
And
get paid.
they really used it,
Really?
and I was just like,
45
no,
minutes, you don't get paid.
I'm not your slave. Sorry.
Wow. We were contracted to stay 15 minutes after the shop had closed, so that kind
I
of
feel like it's quite normal. But when they do it every single day, they use that clause every single day. That's rude. Like, that's actually rude.
But I also really like, you need to, we're going off a tangent, but you need to actually rotate people properly, because you know sometimes you're in a store and it's like 5, let's say the store closes at 5 and it's like, I would enter that shop at 10 to 5 and I fully expect you to serve me like a normal customer.
Oh, you're one of them
5 to
people?
5. I am.
Why?
If I forgot,
I used to hate that in John Lewis when you
But
see
if
that
people-
customer come in.
And
What
I'll
are you
argue with
doing?
I'll argue with you. The security guard in Tesco Express tried to tell me, oh, it's 5 to 11 we're closed. I said, no, you don't close until 11. So I'm gonna go and get what I need to get, and I'm gonna leave. We stood there for like 2 minutes. I said I could have been in and out by now.
Anyway, guys, you know Lola's face. Now you know. Don't serve her.
No, but I really
After working
it's because they wrote up people to finish when the store closes, or like 10 minutes after. So they're like, oh, if there's customers in here after.
Yeah.
Wrote the people to finish half an hour after. Then you won't have any.
That's
people-
what you're on.
Huh?
That's what you're on, Lola. That's what you're telling us.
If I was in charge of the rota, yeah, I would do it.
After working in retail, I'm sorry, I can't stand.
I've
my
worked.
food.
Yeah, exactly.
I worked in Primark
It's
on Oxford
hell in
Street.
there. So
I
you
worked
should
in
have grace
Hamleys.
then.
They voted us to finish after the thing. So
Okay.
you want to be in there 10 minutes
No,
later? I
but
don't care.
even so, even if you rotated me till after, it's 10 minutes now. Like, you have to know the battery has drained. You're not getting me when I first started this shift.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry.
true.
No, it's fine. I
That's
just
just
want you
it.
to serve me. You know, you have to talk to me at the till. If it's 5:55 and the till closes,
But that's because you're young. That's because you're young. Like working in John Lewis, it wasn't people like you coming in at 5 to 8.
I just want to let me get my milk and dip.
It was people saying,
someone
"Oh,
who's
can
like,
I try on 6
How
shoes?"
how does this blender work? Who manufactured this one?
No.
But I actually go into the office when it's hot because
Because of
like people that
aircon.
live I don't live on the 10th floor, but my flat is like a furnace.
Mm.
When I know it's going to be hot, I close all the curtains for the whole day. There's no one allowed to open the
Really?
curtains. Yeah,
Wow.
it's awful.
So on that note,
Don't come visit me.
we know not to visit Lola.
Remember
We
that
also know
face.
not to let Lola into your store.
I'm a terrorist.
But yeah,
Yeah, I guess please continue to like, comment, subscribe, follow on TikTok.
We've done really well on YouTube. We have over 100 subscribers now.
We do. Thank you. Appreciate it. I probably appreciate it the most. Just because of how much. I'm like, yeah, every week we've got extra 5 subscribers.
Literally.
But yeah, thank you. TikTok is going up a little bit.
Yeah. We're
Lola's-
trying.
Lola's-
I'm on the TikTok, so yeah.
Lola's really managing TikTok and
Yeah.
also her personal TikTok
it's going up.
going well.
Yeah, I'm gonna put, in the description, I'm gonna put my personal TikTok, so follow me on there as well.
And am I missing anything?
No, just follow us there if you're engaged. We love you.
Yeah.
Maybe just the reminder for the good and bad managers thing that we were doing.
Yeah. So we're gonna do an episode at some point in a couple of weeks about bad managers, and if you have any stories about
and good ones.
Yeah.
Or is it just bad ones?
I mean, okay, fine.
If you want a drop of good ones, if we must.
if you have a really good manager, if you had a really good
balance.
if you've had a really good manager, let us know that as well. But if you have any stories about like managers and how they've like contributed to you staying or leaving or anything like that, definitely send them to us. We want to hear them.
Yeah.
That's a wrap, guys.
Bye.